let's talk about something fun and something important. Why do you need to stack cash? All right, this is a very big issue that I'm actually seeing a lot with many of my close colleagues. I actually just got off a call with one of my good friends and a few other people, and it's very interesting to me to see people's perspective. This is largely played out on Instagram, and I'm gonna get more into that here in a minute. But I'm gonna talk about the importance of why it's very, very, very important to stack cash, especially if you're able to make it, or should I say, generate and produce it at a younger age. See, a lot of these people, I mean, first of all, America is backed. I think it's 67% of Americans have less than $1,000 in their savings account. Like, does that not blow your mind? Like, you can't do anything with $1,000. I'm stacking cash right now because I can then use it to invest. And the title says stacking, not saving. And there's a reason for that. And we're gonna touch more on it here in a minute. But you need money to do things, okay? So if you wanna invest in something, if you wanna start a new business, get into something that requires capital, you have it. The problem is if you're just stockpiling cash, which is the right way to do it, and how about that? My camera battery just died, but that's why I got two. So anyways, like I was saying, stockpiling cash is the right way to think about it versus what we're typically told, save, save, save. The problem with saving money, and even in certain instances, you know, stockpiling it, stashing it, putting it away, whatever you want to call it, for a purpose, that's the reason. A lot of people save it just to save it. There needs to be a reason and a purpose behind it. So the thing is, if you just have your money sitting in a bank, which I do right now, I have a lot of money sitting liquid in a bank, it's actually losing money. It's depreciated in value because of the inflation rate, and the banks don't ever pay you anything. That's not a vehicle you can use to grow money. The interest rate is next to nothing. So it's actually literally losing value as it sits there, which is kind of crazy. So the reason you want money there is because you're looking for an investment. You're looking for something to use with that money. And if you don't have any money, first of all, focus on producing the cash flow first so that you can then have some sort of income, ideally multiple flows, to be putting away and taking a percentage of that. I take a very, very, very large percent of my income and I put it elsewhere, okay? And that elsewhere, usually as of right now, is actually just in a separate bank account. Something that I'm gonna then use and be able to tap into if there's an investment, which is something I can feel. I can feel when it's coming, and there's one coming. So it's very interesting to see that. Look at this beautiful view right now. I'm gonna point this out real quick. Look at that. What a gorgeous day it is. But, oh, I hope we don't get hit by that Range Rover. But it's kind of crazy to see and just to think about everything that people have been doing, the stuff I've been taught. And, you know, I grew up in a household where, you know, we were a very average upper middle class white family in a suburban neighborhood 20 minutes outside of the city in Minnesota. So I grew up, my parents, they did well financially. You know, they weren't worried about money or anything. It wasn't a big deal. But the thing is, there was no level of abundance. There was no crazy big mindset or anything. It wasn't anything too crazy. So let this Range Rover pass me real quick as I pull over. It was really, really interesting to see that because there were no nice cars in my family. There was no nice cars. It was always very old, like used truck with 180,000 miles. There were no lavish vacations or anything. And that's fine. It's not like, you know, they didn't provide. They did just fine. But the thing is, that's as far as I know because they never really talked about it. And even when I probed them, as a young person, I was always extremely curious about money. Just how much money they made, how much they spent, all of this stuff. And I got insight to a little bit after probing my dad long enough, but they never really talked about that. So I grew up in an environment where it wasn't exactly the best thing to talk about money, and it wasn't until I left that environment when I fully learned that, well, it's completely okay. You gotta get your money situation fixed. Like mine, I'm broke, so I gotta figure that stuff out. And this is actually gonna twist back to the topic I said at the beginning about people on Instagram. The kids showing really nice cars, the newest watches, the newest phones, the latest designer. They're spending money on this stupid stuff, and if they enjoy that, that's fine, but you know, they don't understand cash. They don't understand cash flow and what they have to do. So that's why a lot of people have been asking me, oh, when are you getting your next car? Yesterday, I contemplated selling this car. I literally thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, we'll see where it goes. There's no need to do that. But you know, that's why I haven't gotten a car. Like, these are free ClickFunnels shirts. Shout out, I got 3 of them now. Like, if you think I really care too much about what I'm wearing and stuff, I don't. So I'm just focused on cash. I'm being very, very I want to say specific and very mapative, which is a word I kind of coined. I'm very strategic right now with how I'm playing into my finances. That's what I'm focused on. I'm learning from a lot of different people, getting help from some very specific people, which is why you guys see me in a lot of the videos, which all the other videos on this channel are about how to get the cash flow going. Learning from a lot of people up here out in Newport Coast, just massive real estate tycoons, people making so much money with their different businesses, way older, way further than me in every single aspect of life. So thankfully they've been able to help me out and really like start to understand this, and I kind of already knew it, but now to fully implement it, that's what I'm big on. So I want to make sure that you guys fully understand that. And I actually had a few notes written down on my phone, which I want to make sure I went over, because this is a really important topic, and I feel like, actually I know a lot of people do not end up saving the money, especially at a young age like myself. I'm 18, by the way. Hayden Bowles is the name if you guys don't know who I am. But a lot of kids that I see my age who just work a regular job, they do what the rappers say in the songs. I get the check and then blow it. That's what they always do. They get their 250 bucks bi-weekly from Target or whatever, and it immediately gets spent on something that rust rots or depreciates. That is not the way to do it, okay? And there's a lot of different stuff. I got all these notes, if you guys can see how bright that is, all this stuff written down on exactly everything I want to make sure I go over. So the thing is, aside from all that, I can do it off the dome, freestyle. The biggest thing that I'm seeing is, because this affects you subconsciously, this affected me. The reason I really pushed to start making money, like in the last haul, before I really started making some good money and getting my cash flow up, the thing that inspired me was this one particular kid and his group of friends flexing on Instagram. These young entrepreneurs doing their thing. They were very low key, not like big brand. Oh wow, that's a very nice car. Wow, love being up here. They were, you know, flexing, showing their lifestyle, these cars, and they're very low key. I know them now, I knew them at the time too, but like really seeing what they were doing, crazy. So that helped me push. But the problem is, well, yes, they got cash, they're making their 6 figures a month or whatever it might be. They're spending so much of that. And that's an issue. You know, they're not fully understanding. I'm very curious to see how long-term that's gonna be, but the problem is that's subconsciously playing into your mind. If you're watching that stuff on Instagram, you then perceive that's what you have to do when you start making money. And I don't want that to be you. So you guys, my message in here is be very careful with what you do with your money. You're gonna have to scratch that itch. That doesn't mean no nice cars. Like I bought this car, okay? A lot of people, you know, have their different theories and myths about like my situation when I got it. When I got the car, I kept the promise that I had made to my grandpa, which is when I buy my car, because he knew I wanted a nice car. By the way, my grandpa's the co-signer, was the co-sign on my businesses because I started them when I was underage. He said, whenever you buy a vehicle, Hayden, I know you're gonna get a nice car. Whenever you do it, you have to make sure you have enough cash in the bank to purchase that car, okay? And I did. And so I got this car back in November last year. I made sure I had the cash to pay for it. Obviously I didn't pay for it cash, that would be stupid. So I got the vehicle. And now, you know, I thought about selling it or whatever. I don't really care too much, but I really want other cars. I freaking love cars, but that'll come later. That'll come once it doesn't matter. I'm more focused on getting my financial situation correct. Got one of the sales guys calling me. That's gonna have to wait here. Decline. But, oh my gosh. Wow, that's loud, that new future. But anyways, I really want to just drill that message into your head 100%, from a young person to maybe another young person watching this, or even if you're old and you don't understand those concepts. You have to be careful with how you move with your money. Focus on stockpiling it, not saving it. Put it away. Do the math. As Grant Cardone says, do the millionaire math on how you're structuring your money, where it's going, because you want to be able to put away as much as possible for then once that investment opportunity comes in, even if it's not your own, even if you're just a part of an investment as a small investor, you can then start building out multiple streams of income. So that's going to be huge, you guys. I hope this found you well. If it did, I'd very much appreciate it if you drop a like down below. And as always, join the family, join the gang by hitting that nice looking subscribe button, and I will be seeing you tomorrow in the next video. Peace.